Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the next 3 months. This is going to be for July, August, and September, quarter three of 2025, if you can believe it. You have this become aware of your body. Listen to the wisdom of your body. You also have this it's time to celebrate. It says cultivate an air of celebration today. So this first row is going to represent your general energies for the next quarter. And I'm laughing at that become aware of your body card because I do think it is like a critical time for Pisces to listen to their body. Not only because the big thing for you Pisces, well, or one of the things is South Node in Virgo. South Node in Virgo definitely can point things out about our health. And also, not only that, we have Chiron and Aries still. Chiron and Aries is a major pain in the ass, plain and simple. There's no other way to put it. But Chiron is a wounded healer, and it's in Pisces' second house. And so, the thing about that energy is it's like your healing could have to do with your value or how you value yourself, right? And if you're not valuing yourself, then you could experience like symptoms and things like that, right? And so I do think we are in a time where it's like really important for Pisces to like pay attention to their body, like what their body is telling them. And sorry, I almost just messed that whole thing up. But, to pay attention to their body and like what their body is telling them and, all that other stuff. It's like time to like gain wisdom from your body, right? And I think that would be very important. But you have this card that says cultivate an air of celebration. So we'll have to see, but there could be some sort of celebration this quarter. In your first row, again, for your general energies for the quarter, July through September, you have the Judgment card. I see like a lot of wisdom here, really. You have this, you have the Hierophant, you have the Page of Pentacles, and the Hermit. These are all cards of learning, and, there could be, I kind of do feel that energy, like a rush of information over this quarter for you, Pisces, where you're like gaining new understandings. But it feels extremely helpful, is what I would say. So, is it super exciting? I don't know. It feels more helpful to me, to your life, which could be exciting. But I do feel that there is like a lot of information coming in for you, literally. I also feel there is a lot of understanding. Like that word is popping into my head, especially for those of you Pisces that have been feeling lost or that are saying like, I don't know what to do with my life, or I haven't known what to do with my life. That is definitely popping into my head intuitively, that some of you could be more, it's like you're discovering an answer on what steps to take. I mean, we even have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. You're holding yourself back. And the Eight of Swords says there are many ways that this lady on this card could set herself free, right? Her problem is that she's only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways that she could do things. There are many ways that she could set herself free on this card, but she just needs to be open to all the solutions. And I do feel that you are kind of like open to the solutions, or you are opening up to the solutions here, Pisces. So yeah, I feel pretty good about this in general. Next, you have the Devil card. The Devil can, of course, represent toxic vibes or toxic energy. Kind of interesting because everybody in the month of July had the Devil, and I felt like the Devil really wasn't talking about like one thing. I felt like the Devil was just, I didn't feel bad or good in those July readings about the Devil. I just felt like the Devil was saying, avoid the devil, right? Literally. Anything that is the devil, avoid it, right? Anything that is a energy vampire. And again, an energy vampire doesn't have to just be a person. An energy vampire could be a habit. It could be something that you do. It could be something that you're not doing as well. If you're like not taking care of yourself, then that could be a devil, right? And so we have to, kind of like look at all those things that could be preventing us from success, or all those things that could be preventing us from moving forward and being successful in life. And we have to get rid of the things that are holding us back. And, I kind of feel like that's what the Devil is really talking about here in your reading. So I would be avoiding, anything toxic, literally anything in all areas of your life. And if you do that, then, things will go well. With the Judgment card, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior, of course. Nine of Wands also says, don't give up at this time. He is kind of ready. He's not really giving up, but, he is the card of perseverance, and he's holding on to this one wand, and he is giving something one last chance. So, especially for those of you that are building something, I would say, we go to the Seven of Swords, to the Nine of Wands, to the Knight of Wands in your top row here. The Knight of Wands, I sometimes say, is like the true builder in the tarot. If he doesn't have something he needs, he will build it, right? And, especially if he's trying to be successful. It's like, it is almost like this reading is saying, as long as you don't give up this quarter on what you're working on, you will discover the missing piece of the puzzle. I feel like you will discover the thing that really makes you stand out, right? Yes, with the Eight of Swords, you have the Devil. Yes, I would be careful of any energy vampires. Those could be the things that are holding you back. I would really look at the toxic things that are preventing you from making forward movement. And again, it's going to be different for all of you. You're going to have to be honest with yourself about, what's holding you back, obviously. But I would be careful with the Devil. Yes, with the Devil, we have the Tower, so I would definitely avoid the Devil at all cost. This could be a past person as well, Pisces. Judgment, right? So maybe the Nine of Wands would say that you have to put up boundaries against a past person. And in the month of July, we have Mercury retrograde, and I would definitely do your best to avoid a Tower moment, especially if it's like a past person here. And, I don't think you have to do anything other than, put up boundaries and make sure that they can't enter into your life and things like that. But, the other thing I will tell you, Pisces, is that this right here is the most powerful combination in the tarot, the Judgment and the Tower card. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. These two cards together can represent like a significant breakthrough or a significant understanding. And that's definitely popping into my head. Like I literally said it earlier that you could be getting like an answer to something, or you could finally be understanding. The word understanding is really the word that I'm getting off of this first row. And it's like you could be understanding what steps you're supposed to take. So again, the Tower really doesn't have to be a bad thing with the Judgment card. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you over the next quarter, July through September, you have this Earth Magic card and this Time Machine card. I feel that you could be grounding a lot of like old things that you've wanted to create in your life. It's like, all those times, Pisces, where you've said to yourself, wouldn't it be nice if I could have this, that, and the other thing? It's like, that's what's popping into my head with these two cards. Like, I feel like there are a lot of things that you have never really believed that you can have. And it's like, I'm not saying that you're like magically going to, get these things, but what I do feel is that maybe now you're seeing that things are actually possible that you didn't think were possible, right? Those wouldn't it be nice if I had this thing in my life, whatever it is for you. It's like, I really see a lot of you maybe either understanding how you can have those things or understanding like what steps you need to take to get them. So pretty powerful. You have the Seven of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Five of Cups. Again, Seven of Swords can represent doing things in a different way. Number one, with the Devil and Tower, Judgment, I would definitely be careful of a past person. They're probably still a liar. So I would be very careful of that with the Seven of Swords. But the Seven of Swords is really about doing things in a different way. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background so that he doesn't have to go to war. So a lot of you could be just learning better ways of doing things in life. And, I think in a lot of ways this reading is also saying that your life is, you're doing things to make your life smoother. Maybe that's the word I'll use. I almost used the word easier, but it's not really popping into my head as easier. I think you're just like smoothing things out. You're just like not wanting to like force yourself to do things that you don't want to do anymore. You're not wanting to put yourself in, in situations that are going to come back around and bite you in the ass in the future, right, Pisces? So I feel a lot of you are just like making smoother decisions with the Seven of Swords. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent blessings. He is blessing these two people in front of him here. And but this card can also represent your belief system. And so a lot of you are, I kind of feel like you are maybe like this is you, is what I'm trying to spit out. Like I feel like maybe you are the Hierophant. And yes, I understand that the Hierophant is Taurus, but I feel like you can embrace whatever energy you want. So the Hierophant is kind of like a teacher. And it makes a lot of sense to me that Pisces is becoming a teacher. I literally say it to you all the time that I believe Pisces' like spiritual job, or whatever you want to call it, is to show people like what they can do in life. It's like you're here to be an example right now. Every Pisces alive at this time is here to be an example for other people. So by overcoming things, by being successful, by living your best life, it's like you are blessing other people, and that will just come back to you tenfold. So, I would do whatever you can to be a living example, to be a positive example as well. The Hierophant, he also has a vision. He communicates with both sides, heaven and earth. And he's able to translate those messages from heaven down to earth. So a lot of you could be kind of like bringing your messages down from heaven down to earth, which I think also would be good with that card. You have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups can represent a change, because he is grieving the loss of something he no longer enjoys. And he needs to turn around and focus on these 2 cups and be grateful for these 2 cups. And then he gets his bridge in the castle. But intuitively, I'm getting the word change here, Pisces. Like there's some sort of change that's happening. I for whatever reason, I feel good about this. Maybe the devil is saying that you've been thinking too negatively, and it's like now you're thinking more positively. Again, I read intuitively. This is the message I'm getting. So I don't think the Five of Cups is really bad in your reading at all. I think this is saying that you are changing your mindset in the best way possible. And I think these, this mindset change that you could be having could be healing you. It could be, fixing you. It could be improving situations in your life. It could be just making your life better. So I really just see this as like positive thinking, as lame as that sounds maybe, but I do think it's good. A funny thing is in your next row you have this regret card, and the Five of Cups can be regrets. Again, I would be very careful of a past person who's coming in saying that they have regrets. I would really put up your boundaries against any past people, Pisces, especially in the month of July. Basically from July to August. The Mercury goes direct on August 12th, and so. But I would, we're going to be in the shadow basically for the entire month of August, practically, right? So, boundaries. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Ten of Wands, which says you have enough to deal with, Pisces. You have enough going on in your life right now to pick up other people's BS, right? So, I would make sure that you are just focusing on yourself and not worrying about, what other people are doing and all that other stuff. I also feel like you are very close to achieving something. He's almost reaching his home in the background of this card. So he is about to accomplish his goal or achieve his goal, and he's very close to getting to his goal here. But I think a lot of you, the Ten of Wands can represent needing to release burdens or needing to put down some burdens. And so he might need to let go of burdens back here at his home. But he could also be having a harvest. But I also think there's something about you needing to make things easier in your life, like work-wise. We are not meant to struggle. I truly believe that. And people always say, whenever I say that, people say to me, all I do is struggle. I'm like, exactly. Yes. But things can be easy. And I feel like Pisces really needs to develop that belief. Like, I think that would be a good project for you over the next 90 days, right? For the next 3 months. It would be a great project, a great time for you to say, you know what? What if things could be easy? Just play that game, right? You don't have to have a perfect answer. You don't have to know what to do. I would just ask the question, like in love, in business, in career, everything. Whatever you're dealing with, I would just say to myself, what if this could be easy? What would that look like? What would the simplest version of what I'm doing right now look like? And, I really feel if you release those burdens and you just play that game, that literally your life will become easier. With the Hierophant, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, old beliefs. One thing I will say is that, there could be this kind of like, I see this like cracking energy going on here where it's like, the Hierophant is very stiff, very fixed beliefs. And the Hierophant isn't necessarily a bad card, but we do have Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune will be retrograding back in, we have it in Aries right now, but it will be retrograding back into Pisces. And, we've had it there for 14 years. And Neptune and Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. So again, if we believe we have to like work hard for money, but maybe that the universe is like, well, that's actually not true. You're just making it hard on yourself. And, if we could crack through that shell of needing to work hard, right, then things will become easy. And there's like something about that here for you, Pisces, where it's like, I think Pisces really has an opportunity here over the next 3 months to like five-head some idea where it's like you come up with some much simpler way of doing things. You make your life a lot easier, and probably you'll end up making more money, right? So I think that's what you need to do. With the Five of Cups, you have the Fool. Yes, it's a risk. It's scary. I feel a flood of emotions on this Fool card. I kid you not. It's like I feel all these things. Like, oh my God, if I leave this business and I go do something else, or if I quit this job and do something else, like all these bad things are going to happen. The whole point of the Fool is that we have to take the risk of looking like a fool, right? He's doing something that could be foolish. He's doing something that could be very risky, but he kind of needs to do it anyway because it will make his life so much more pure. He's doing things, he's going on this journey for the right reasons, and that's what's popping into my head. Like, I will tell you, Pisces, I always tell a story, but like there's a lot of elements to this story. I was very successful when I was younger, and I had a very successful business and was probably making way too much money for a young person, right? And during that time, then that business basically failed. I let it fail, right? It was really kind of like me letting it fail. And then after that, I was just trying to make money in any way I could. But like nothing I did worked, and literally for like 4.5, 5 years. And I am convinced it's because I was like my intentions weren't pure. Like my intention was money, right? And then I started this, which has this channel at the end of that 5 years. And long story short, this has exceeded my wildest expectations. It has done like open doors for me that I wouldn't even have ever thought possible. So it's like, but my intention for doing this was just to have something to do, right? It was just fun, and it still is. Like the day that this becomes not fun for me, I'm just gonna stop doing it. And I know some of you might not want to hear this, but again, it's still fun for me. So don't worry. But it's like that is my intention for doing it. And, I think that there's something to that for you with the Fool card. It's like his intention is pure. The reason he's doing something is true, right? And I think you need to think about that with everything that you're doing in life. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, this is the message that your future self wants to tell you at the end of the 3 months. You have this Purpose card, which we have the Judgment and the Tower. Definitely, again, Judgment and Tower is very powerful. It's like a major wake-up call, major revelation, an aha moment, something like that. So I really do feel, I said that on the Judgment card when we first started, that's like you're finding the missing piece of the puzzle. You're finding an answer on like what to do next, and very good, because I feel like maybe you felt lost for a while. You have this Regret card. I would be careful of anyone who comes in claiming regrets. It's like, yeah, they might have regrets, but I feel like they're just the same. Like, I feel like they will never change. And I feel like you need to know this, you need to realize this as well, Pisces, that, this person will never change. And it's sad. And, I really have nothing to say. I don't know what to say, Pisces, because yeah, sure, it's sad that this person will never change, and maybe they just can't for whatever reason. And maybe they really do have regrets, and maybe part of them really does love you, Pisces, but I would definitely be careful of any person who's saying that. You have the Nine of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. It's like part of this is like what, I've been thinking about this a lot, Pisces, and it's like what we tolerate, and what that says about us, so if we're in a situation where a person is coming in and saying regrets, and we really love them, but they really weren't ever there for us, right? We are basically saying, that's what we are saying about ourselves, is that we are not worthy of being taken care of, or we are not worthy of having a person that is there for us, right? Or whatever, whatever, you insert your situation here. And I kind of think that this reading, I wouldn't call it a breakthrough. I would say it's a cracking. It's like you are cracking the egg. You are realizing what toxic situations, but I don't even want to say toxic situations because, again, I think people are too dramatic about things like relationships and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, a person hurt you, get over it, right? I'm a hard ass. I'm an Aquarius rising, right? So I'm just like, get over it and move on. But, with the devil here, it's like, it doesn't even have to be toxic. It could just be things that happen to you. And I think it would be an amazing 3 months, really, for you to kind of look at, what you are saying to yourself by being in those situations in the first place, whatever it is, right? Whether it's not taking care of yourself, or not being happy, or choosing not to be happy, or whatever, right? And I think it would be an amazing time to get to the bottom of all that. Could be extremely healing, really could lead to a lot of forward progress. So I would do it. You have the Page of Pentacles. I definitely feel there's a new person coming in for you, Pisces. It is still a good time for love, even though we have the Mercury retrograde in July and August. I wouldn't let that stop you in dating or meeting new people or anything like that. So, that's what I'll say there. This probably is, it is in your 7th house, Leo. So, maybe it, or some, for some of you, depending on when you were born, right? If you're an Aquarius rising. And so, for some of you, it's in your 7th. And I guess I could see how this could definitely bring back a past person, right? But I would definitely focus on new. I think that there could be a new person. Probably scares you a little bit, right? It's like, I think Pisces is too much of a people pleaser and an overgiver. So it's like, if you find a person who's full on their own and they don't need you to give, that can be a little bit scary because you're like, oh my God, this person's going to leave me because I always overgive, and that's what keeps people attached to me, right? Those are the things that you're healing here, Pisces, and you could be healing through something positive for sure. You have the Six of Pentacles. I feel like this is completely separate. I feel like this is talking about money specifically. I feel like it's completely separate to everything else I just said for whatever reason. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes I get a card where it just feels like it's disconnected, or it feels like it's part of another part of the story. But I feel very good about it. If you are working on anything new, Pisces, I feel there are going to be a lot of good positive results financially coming in for you, which is definitely amazing. So, you really could be improving your finances with that Six of Pentacles. More fairness, I feel you're feeling as well. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Six of Swords. This could be very healing for you as well. So again, even if a person does come back, you might not like it, but again, Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores. So it's like you could tell the person like, yeah, I forgive you, but I'm moving on, and I feel that could be a big improvement. I feel like these are self-improvements that you're making in general. And this is like a very deep reading, Pisces. I feel it's like, yeah, there's like a past person here and stuff, and yeah, there's new people here as well. But I really feel this is like a deep healing reading, and you could be spending these 3 months like really having some major breakthroughs, and I feel like it's a good thing. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to see this because Seven of Wands is really drawing a line in the sand. It's putting up those boundaries where you're saying, this is what I'm willing to accept and nothing else. You're being much more strict with your boundaries, and I kind of feel like that's exactly what is needed with your energy in this reading. Here you go. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands. Love it. 2 sixes, number one. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I love 2 sixes. But these two cards, the Six of Wands is being celebrated and having a victory. And so there definitely could be like a very big victory or big win coming in for you with that Six of Wands. So I'm happy to see that. You can't make this up. I didn't even see this. In your last row for the good stuff for the next 3 months, you have this boundaries card. It says Pisces on it. It says, set and honor your boundaries to avoid being taken advantage of. That is the entire reading. You have the Nine of Wands twice, Seven of Wands, Devil twice. I mean, come on, right? That is literally the entire reading. So it's coming up in the good stuff, so you're probably going to do it. You have this Divine Intervention card. It says, angels are working behind the scenes to assist in the miracles you've requested. Yes, but I think you need to believe it. I get this like vibe here, Pisces, and I really can't explain how I feel perfectly, but it's like I think that it's like you need to shake something off, like an energy or a negative mind space or something. So, anything you can do to be more positive, I think will push you more in that positive direction. And that's what I would do with that Divine Intervention card. You have the Knight of Wands, the Hermit, and the Ace of Cups. Knight of Wands, definitely very good for adventure. It's a good time for travel, and especially the second half of the year here, and especially after August. So what I would say here is that there could be a lot of travel coming in for you. I mean, I literally have 3 trips, August and September and October, and so sorry, August, October and December, and now I probably will have one in September. But it's like like all of a sudden this has happened, and it could be very sudden as well. It's definitely popping into my head for you, Pisces, where it's like all of a sudden you could have to travel or have to do a lot. So I think a lot of you, this could just be movement. You have the Hermit. Yes, the Virgo energy with the South Node in Virgo. Definitely a good time for healing. I also think you need to stand out more. The Hermit is coming up in the good stuff, but like I said, it's your job right now to shine your inner light and to share what makes you special. So I would definitely be doing that. You have the Ace of Cups. I do feel there could be new love at this time, and I would be very careful of old love, of course, but I do feel there could be a new connection for those of you that want it. Again, the rest of the year is pretty decent for love for Pisces. There are moments where it's not perfect, but I would say that if you're putting yourself out there, meeting new people, then definitely could be a love offer coming in for you. But again, really I wouldn't even focus on that based off this reading. This reading is all about you. And, really it's about putting yourself first and saying, like, this is like the person I want to be. And then embracing that energy. The Ace of Cups is about creating your own flow, right? The Ace of Cups can overflow on its own. It can just reach down into that water below it and fill itself back up. And, that's what I'd be doing there. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, following your heart and your desires. The Knight of Wands follows his desire. He is excited to do something in life, so he goes and does it, right? Queen of Cups, same thing. She follows her heart. Her heart tells her to do things, and she does them. And also an excellent card for healing. So we see a lot of healing in this reading, which is good. With the Hermit, you have the Ace of Pentacles. New opportunity. Yes, really, for a lot of you, there could be a big about face this month where it's like you make a sudden change in direction. Judgment, Tower. Judgment, Tower energy, again, very powerful. I consider it positive because it's usually like a aha moment. It's like the missing piece of the puzzle. Like I said before we even had the Tower, I knew something like that was going to come up. But it's kind of like a major revelation where it's like you could be doing one thing with your life and then all of a sudden you make a change and you do something else. So there could be really big opportunities, but good opportunities for sure. Yes, with the Ace of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. Yes, this is what I would focus on right here. I feel like this person feels scary, is what I would say, Pisces, in a good way. As in, they don't need you, right? Maybe they don't have a bunch of problems. Maybe you're used to being a savior, right, or saving a person, and maybe this person doesn't have any problems to save. Maybe they're just a person, right, that can take care of themselves. So it's like you might need to find other ways to use that energy or to use that nurturing energy. Like here's a novel concept for you, Pisces. Maybe since this person doesn't need to be saved, it's like maybe you could save your own ass, right, yourself. Here, Pisces, maybe you could channel all that love energy that you would give to the person. Maybe they don't need it, right? Maybe they need very little, and I mean that in a good way. And maybe they're very caring towards you, but maybe you could use the extra energy on yourself, right? And that's what I would be doing. You have this Wind Chimes card. It says peace and harmony on it. I mean, pretty good. So I don't know. I feel like there could be a lot of peace and harmony coming in for you. You have this Tortoise card. It says slowly but surely getting ahead. I feel like saying finally getting ahead. I feel like things have been very slow. I feel like you've been looking for something new or different to do just in general in life, and I feel like you're like finally finding answers. You have the Skull card that says hidden secrets can harm you. I would be careful of secretive people. I feel like this Devil person had a lot of secrets, just like a lot of things that they didn't reveal and that you probably picked up on because you're a Pisces, and maybe you didn't want to believe it because you're a Pisces, but I would be careful. You have this crown. It says honor and respect will come to you. There you go. Yes, I think it's time for Pisces to claim their crown, to stand out and all that other stuff. And I would also be looking for, I think it would be a good time to think about the people that you really honor and respect, like famous people, not famous people. It's like, what are the things that make you respect those people? And like, how can you develop more of those traits, right? Or how can you express those things that you appreciate about those people? And, it could be very helpful. You have the Scissors card. It says disappointment in some affair. I think this was a huge disappointment. The Devil, with the Tower, it's like the Nine of Wands, some of this other stuff, Four of Pentacles. It's like this is something that you didn't want to let go of. That I don't know if you're revisiting it or if it's trying to pop its head back up in your life or whatever, but I definitely feel intuitively that this is something that you just didn't want to release. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a habit with the Devil. It could be a person, a place, a thing, and it's like popping back up. But I also think it's popping back up so you can have that, so you can crack out of the egg, so you can have that breakthrough moment, right? And it could be healing for some of you. So really good. I like where this is going, Pisces, in a lot of ways. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.